All right, good evening, every single one of you, and thank you for joining us in our last session. That was the panel session with Femi Tiami, UBC, Steve Harris, Amanda Akoni, and Elisha Maman. So we are right here past 4, and we, as promised, are going to be launching a virtual, ebook. Yeah, so this is virtual ebook launch, and it's Inside Life, the reality after school, a career guide collated from high-flying professionals and recent graduates. 26 September 2020. So you are welcome. You are indeed welcome, and we are having, you can see, 2 stronger, women from authorities in their space. We have special appearance Onyechuku Umbeledogu, JCI Nigeria President 2020, and the Chief Launcher, that's Adetula Juyitan, JCI Nigeria President 2019. So we're going to be, this is a very relatable session, as we kind of collated between professionals and young graduates in Nigeria and how we could relate to them. So we'll be kicking off this session with let's say opening speech from Adetula Juyitan. I believe she's here with us. If she's here with us, can we bring her up? Let's roll. All right, she is here. Good evening, Ma. How have you been?
Very well, thank you.
Your microphone is muted. Okay, it's unmuted now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I'm very well, thank you, Scott.
All right, Ma.
So, it's great to be here.
Yeah, we are really delighted to host you today. So, yeah, we're talking about the the EBL book, and so far you were at EBL 2.0, and nothing of this sort, kind of happened. So, how do you feel when you got the development about an EBL book? How were your reactions and all that?
I think it's a very fantastic idea, very innovative. It looks to me like you guys were already thinking ahead. So it looked like all of this caught you unawares. So while some of us were still napping, you guys have gone a few years ahead of all of us. So I think that's quite commendable, and I would say well
done. Thank you very much, Ma. All right, so we want to kick this off with your view on employability, business, and leadership. In line with, or let's say your little story too, because you were definitely included in the BL book launch. So you could just kind of expatiate or elaborate on some of the projections you made that we could not get in full-blown words. Like, if meeting you, what would you have told us about the life after school?
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll just touch very quickly on some part of my own portion of the book. When I got the questions some months ago, I think, it took me a while to respond. I was initially thinking, but you see, what that did for me also is set me on a thinking path. And how you just know that there are certain things you could have done differently, but you've never really sat down to think it through. So what your questions did to me was gave me time to sit back and pen down my thoughts at regard. So I'll just share a few of such, and that's also from the book. So these are like excerpts from the book. One of the questions that was sent to me: if you had the opportunity to draw back the hands of time, backward now, and go back to school, what things will you do differently? And my answer was, I would have learned more real-life applicable skills than focusing on passing exams just to get the certificate. If I had the chance, I would have put myself out there the more. So the era of wanting to be, not to be known and all that, I don't think that would really work anymore. I would have used the greatest gift of all time a whole lot more. That's the internet. If it was there in that age and that time, I would have been more self-aware. I would ask more questions rather than assume. Teachers often want to often want us to conform to their teachings, and life is more favorable to the non-conformist. So I would say more to be different. These were some of my thoughts, and I also, many of the behaviors that you were punished for in school, that's another question, will reward you later in life, and many of the behaviors you were rewarded for in school will punish you later in life. What's your take on this? And my response to that was, I really do not think this is 100% accurate. Maybe using some in place of many will be more valid or more accurate, as the case may be. I think the education system in Nigeria really encourages creativity, amongst other things. And the things not encouraged are the new normal and the way to break even in the present age. So the education system rewards passing examinations whilst overlooking learning to acquire knowledge. Now I understand better that there are many times when a system of reward and punishment does not necessarily give the intended results. So today, you and I would agree that as much as education is important, we're not trying to put down the place of education, but we're saying that while you're in school, as you pass through school, make sure that school passes through you. I think I'll leave it.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. So while we are in school, let the school pass through you, because the school is an avenue to mold of behaviors, through interrelations with different people and, lecturers and the like. So it's a formation ground. So we have to pass through each other. Yeah, thank you so much, Mark. Yeah, I would, this is a very special session, and I just feel so charged up because of the ebook. We've kind of been working on this for a couple of months now, and it's just so different. It's just so, like, I'm just excited, looking for where we came from last year and now, even after all this virtual and all that. So I want to put you on the run right now. Yeah, to just, go on an open floor and just try to, no, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I just wanted you to, let's say, give your general thoughts on the current 21st century life, how to upscale. Really, this pandemic, actually, it's really revealed the flaws of even employability, business, leadership. In the aspect of teachers, some teachers lost their jobs. A lot of persons actually lost their jobs, and most persons were actually drifting to the entrepreneurial path. And most of the, let's say, conclusions from persons where like you must have a side hustle and all that. So what do you think about that in line with business? Do you think business must deliberately be a how will I put it, not the 9-to-5 job method, just like people are now talking about?
Okay, to be honest, I say all the time, not all of us will be entrepreneurs. So let's not get it twisted. As much as, even all the while that I was in the banking industry, it was clear to me that that wasn't where I wanted to be. But because, number one, I needed the money. Number two, I needed the experience. Number three, I needed the contact. I had to be there at that time. But it was clear to me. I think that's one thing that is very important. As you go through school and get ready to leave school, be clear as to what you want in life and where you want to be in life. The how would happen as life goes on. Where the problem typically lies is the fact that a lot of us don't even know what we want out of life. So if I ask now, how many of you here have a 5-year plan? And I think I must have asked this question last year when I came for EBL. How many of you have a 10-year plan? How many of you have a 5-year plan? Maybe just a few. And so we just wake up every day, go to bed every day. We need to be a bit more deliberate about living life. If you have a plan, it doesn't mean that every day will happen as you planned, but at least you have something guiding you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So not all of us will be entrepreneurs. There are still some people that have to be the bankers, the lawyers, the accountants. So there will still be the 9-to-5 guys. Just understand what you are made for and what you're caught up for, what your purpose in life is. If you are the one that will be the banker and you are the one that we would encourage and keep pushing till you become the bank MD or the CBN governor, it's fine. But not all of us do that. Not all of us get to that point. But let's all understand our purpose in life. Let's all have a clear understanding about our journey in life. Our journeys are different. And so just stay in your lane and run your own race. Don't run race. Run your own race and be clear about it. Now, whether
All right.
it's entrepreneurial or whatever, I am always for the side also any day. So even when I was in school, when I started working, I wouldn't go on a holiday without coming back with things to sell. If all I do is regain the money for my ticket, then I'm fine. I mean, those days. So that has always been me. But again, we're different people. It doesn't make me better than the other person. The fact that I multitask a lot so well and somebody else cannot does not make, it doesn't really make any difference. Just who I am. So understand your areas of strength and make the best use of them. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that was credible and relatable. Now, I was looking at, we're having issues with this topic of this book. Looking at his inside life. it was quite funny when we saw like inside life. I was like, are you people serious? What are you people thinking about?
No,
And
that's what it is. Sometimes I look at undergraduates and I just look at you guys and I just smile. Because so many things you do or say, I will just be like, don't worry. When you enter the real world, you will understand a lot better.
When someone just leave and just say inside life, like
is inside life.
There's supposed to even be an exclamation like inside life. It's a sudden heat. It's actually really funny. Inside life, like the real reality. Yeah, because there are most of us, especially in still university now, there's always the fact that we believe that the future is gloomy, maybe because we're on the first class and the 2-1. Because you know why? There's this societal jinx or cycle or circle that we have actually built. From primary school, you must get to secondary school, you must pass 5 credits, then you must go into university and write down pass 200, come of mark. But life has made it more easier to get 180 and 160 and the like. Okay, because definitely to categorize it person according to their strength, which I don't believe should be so. All right, and now getting to the university, you would see and you will notice how some persons used to treat the university as if that would be the last place they would be. So we have Kalada Apiafi here with us. He's a senator. Wow, I'm so sorry about that.
You don't know senator. Hey, see this boy. Stop. You don't know Papa K.
I apologize, sir. All right, so his camera is off there. We can engage him. All right. So now, there are some people that treat this university as the only place, and after they graduate, they believe one job is waiting for them. How do you think we should take the school education space? Because education is not just about the schooling alone. So how do you think we can address that issue of just embracing education alone?
Well, again, I'm not convinced that. Let me not say I'm not convinced. I'm trying to be very careful and choose my words very carefully so that I'm not misunderstood. But I know that there used to be technical schools. There used to be, things like that. I'm just wondering why we almost go to the university. Why can I not go and learn carpentry? I mean, when I graduate from have the basic education, right? And then just go learn carpentry or hairdressing or something. Or when I graduate from the university, or go to a technical college. Why do I have to go to read accounting like I did? Go do my master's, go to Harvard, and then come back and event planning is what I'm doing. Why didn't I from after secondary school? Because I knew that. Guess what? Before I took up the banking job, I knew this was what I wanted. I knew this was what I was made, to do. So for someone like me who already has a clear understanding of where she wanted to end up, why did I have to go to Ekiti State University, please? I don't know. I'm just wondering. Read accounting for 4 years, plus strike and all that. Maybe you were there for 6-7 years. Then NYC camp for another year. Then, all that, only to come and end up in the place where I knew I wanted to end up. So why didn't I just veer off the track and focus on this all my life? Instead of my dad encouraging me to read accounting because he's a chartered accountant. So again, all of this is arguable, but I think Papa K may be in a better position to talk about all this. He was there in those days. Okay, we don't know what happened to all our technical schools, all those, I don't know what they were called, but I'm just thinking, what is wrong with that arrangement? Or, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I think Papa K is in a better position to talk about this. Good afternoon, by the way.
Good evening,
Yes. Good afternoon. First of all, let me clarify that I'm a JCI senator. I'm not a better senator.
Okay, JCI senator. Sir, can I get the pronunciation of your surname, please?
Apiafi.
Apiafi. That sounds like Ghanaian.
Well,
sounds like
yeah.
Apiafi. So that's Apiafi. Okay, thank you very much, sir. So we are really delighted to host you and have you on our first ever EBL book launch, or EBL book, then EBL book launch. Yeah, we are really delighted to have you, and we truly appreciate the time you have taken to set aside to be with young minds like us and the teaming audience at the YouTube live stage. So they are definitely watching us from there. All right, sir. So just like the IPP just said, talking about the technical schools and the likes, like, and she said you were there because I wasn't there. So what do you think about, the decline in, let's say, specialization among youths in Nigeria? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's evening. Good evening, everyone. Especially my IPP. I can't see the others that are here. I think it's just a panelist that have been seen. So, well, the one of the major challenges in Nigeria is implementation of policies, plans, and what have you. So, I mean, the vocational schools were very strong in the 60s. They were extremely strong. People were proud to go to those schools. They would say that Yaba Technical College, for instance, and they'll be proud about it, and they come out and they'll get jobs. But somewhere along the line, this emphasis on paper qualification came. And even though government tried to redress it by the 6334 system, nobody opted out at the intermediate stage in the secondary school. Everybody wanted to go the whole hog and then go to university. So what they're doing now, so India has come up with a new policy, a new education policy. And what they're trying to do is actually, so that the people that are doing vocational education don't feel left out because they only have a secondary qualification. They're actually trying to do courses like a bachelor in vocational education. So you'll actually learn the carpentry or whatever you want to learn. And since everybody wants a degree, you have your degree too. So I guess maybe Nigeria needs to emulate that. So, yeah, so what was the question? I had to attend to my IPP. So what was the question?
Yeah, that like what do you think about let's say decline in specialization among Nigeria youth? Like, some persons, just like you just said, if everybody wants to get a degree, let them get a degree. But a lot of us, kind of later on in 300, 400 level, and especially in this pandemic, actually discovered that this is exactly who I am. Because, in the university, when the university is in session, there's really no time for you to listen to yourself because you just have to wake up 6 a.m. and start getting ready. Before you come back, you have to listen to like 5 lecturers for maybe 7-8 hours stretch. Then you are going back in there. The only thing I hear in your head is stress, I'm tired, sleep, and all that. And like I said, I told somebody, I said, the way we would come out of this, we will come out of the pandemic a different person than the way we entered it. Because you have so much time to listen to the little voices in your head. And when I had conversation with sort of persons, and they were like, this is what I now found out I loved doing. So now it means that there's a big problem. Definitely maybe affecting, educational performances. Yes. Some person will be like, no, even on Twitter now, some person will be like, I've moved on. No. I'm like, are you people joking? Yeah. So what do you think about how we can address the area of specialization? Maybe possibly for somebody in 200 level or 300 level, how can the person handle it? Let's say following their passion and still, staying in school because the school fees cannot waste. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The first thing anyway is that really a university education really shows that you can learn. And then one of the things about the university system also is that you gain a lot of social skills because the university is a melting pot. I mean, you have people from all over the country, or if it's a state university, you have people from all over the state. So the basic premise is that you can learn. So I mean, I have friends who are doctors, who are oil traders. Okay, so a lot of us find our vocation very late in life, but pray that you find your vocation. So when you find your vocation, you go for it. My daughter did chemical engineering, but she's doing innovation in a bank. Because when she now went to do internship, she discovered that she actually did a first degree in chemical engineering and a second degree in chemical process engineering. She suddenly discovered when she went to do internship that she didn't want to live a life of looking at all these dials in quality control labs. But at the point, she's working in a bank. So at the point she wanted to go into accounting. My wife said, "No, you must do this chemical engineering." Okay. Our son did electrical engineering, and when he finished his electrical engineering course, he said he doesn't want to start, so he's doing creative things in electricity. For example, you know how you can use bulbs, these security bulbs that go on when somebody passes and goes off. He doesn't want to just be installing bulbs and things like that. And he's interested in music. He's operating a studio. So I mean, if you do a degree, it's not compulsory. I mean, some people even do degree just like IPP. Maybe she just did it to satisfy her father. There was a lady who did her course up to doctorate and said, well, since my father wanted me to become a doctor, I couldn't become a medical doctor. She did up to PhD, and I said, Daddy, have the certificate. I'm going to become a musician.
Which is what I wanted to be.
Exactly.
I mean, for that girl, I mean, not me.
Yeah.
So now I've satisfied you. Let me go and now pursue my passion.
Yeah. So the most important thing is for you to find your vocation in life. Okay. So what do I mean by that? If I mean you want to be a musician, there's nothing wrong with it because again, your degree is your fallback position. For instance, Steve Rhodes was one of the best musicians Nigeria ever produced. But he had a degree from the University of Ibadan. And he said that even if you want to become a musician, have a degree. So that when you're no longer popular as a musician, you can go back to do the job for which you got a degree. So I don't see it as a negative thing. Everything in life depends on your vision. Some of us do courses because this is the only course they could admit me for. Yeah, that's the reality. For quite a few of us, we did courses that we could admit for. So the important thing is to know what you want to do when you finish. There are medical doctors who decided that, look, I don't want to be, carrying stethoscope around the place and all that when I can be doing business deals all over the place. And at that stage, your father will allow you to do whatever you want to do because you have a degree. Because most parents, their concern is have degree.
Go to school.
Yeah, go to school and that's a better way of putting it. Go to school. Okay, so once you've gone to school and you go and tell your father that you want to be a musician, he may be annoyed, but eventually he will allow you. My late uncle was a professor of orthopedics. When his son told him he wanted to be a pilot, the man went mad. He said, "Pilot is driver. Anyhow you look at it, as driver, you be driving." He scolded him so much and all that, but the guy just said, "Look, Daddy is a pilot." And the mother was able to prevail on the father to allow him to be a pilot. But he's a damn good pilot now. He's about my age, but he's still flying. He's one of the best pilots in Nigeria. He started from Nigeria Airways. He's flown with Bellevue. He's flown with Sosoliso. Of recent, Anap Jets belong to Atelo Peter's side. And one day he just said that the man told him, Atelo Peter's also told him that I want to travel. The guy said, no, it's not like that. Too. That you can't just travel like that. I've flown this X number of hours, I can't fly again. He said, no, I want to travel. I said, you can't fly. The guy just said, well, you can have your job. Because actually, the pilot get tired. If you've taken some flights, like the last flight on some nights, especially when it's delayed, when the pilots come off the plane, you see they're not working as fast as they work during the daytime. I've actually seen pilots very tired. Okay, so there'll be this kind of argument. There's no job that is useless. That's another thing. You know, some of us are not proud of our jobs, but you see, the thing is also, it depends on employers. We run schools, and we've restored self-esteem to our teachers. Because some of them, you know, by the time they joined us, they had low self-esteem. We've restored esteem to them. We've given them accommodation. In fact, in our school, we have a joke about some part being GRA. So, you know, we jokingly say, you moved to the GRA and things like that. And they're very happy with their jobs, because really, the highest point for a teacher is not money. So give them the basics, give them accommodation, you know, give them incentives to be able to afford computers. We don't buy computers for our teachers, but there's a loan scheme for them. We guarantee them to go and take a loan, and so that when they're going, they can go with their computer. We don't want to start dragging the computer, because some of them in the night they sneak away with the computer. Okay, but the high point for any teacher is the results of the children.
That's right.
It's not the salary.
And seeing what the children become in future.
Yeah, but they need the salary to pay rent. They have to live in decent accommodation. So if you can give them decent accommodation, they're not really for that. Okay, so again, I believe we shouldn't depend too much on government. There's another problem in Nigeria. We depend too much on government to do things. The private sector has to show the way. Private sector has to show the way. So, in summary, whatever you end up with your degree and suddenly discover that that is not your vocation, you know, you can keep your certificate and go after your vocation. This is what I got a degree in computer science, I must do computer work. But the work will be good at the end.
So I just drew a line from all what you just said, and it is that life is not a one-way road. So once you see you are stuck on the other side of the road, you could cross and follow your passion and follow your dreams onto fulfillment. Just like, you know, even if we are teaching ourselves, let's say in the area of self-leadership, teach yourself to fulfillment. Yes, we would soon be, you know, rounding up in, I think, next 20 minutes. And there are no virtual scissors here that we need to cut the ribbon for the book. Yeah. So there was while we're talking, and just Senator Kalada Apiafi was talking about, you know, even computers and the like. The use of social media so far has like gone out of hand. I would say that, because we, you know, go on Twitter and the like. And you know, there are some important issues that we even need to address. Maybe when the government does one stuff, and the next thing you just see it as comedy skits, and people are just laughing and the like. So apart from that, and even unruly behavior of youth in today's society, like nobody just cares about anything, and they're like life goes on and all those kind of attitude. So I would just, you know, kind of want us to reflect on this last question before we go to the book launch, on how do you think youth and young adults could utilize their social media handles or utilize social media for positioning, for growth, you know, in line with employability and all the stuff and business and all that. So how do you think we could do that? I was starting with the IPP map. How do you think we can do that?
Okay, thank you very much. So I would say that I believe that the young people of today can do a lot more with the use of the social media, and I'll tell you what I mean. While on Instagram, checking out outfits, shoes, bags, makeup, hair, and all that. But on the same phone, I mean, there are other people that are using it to seal deals, close businesses, gain admission to schools, and all sorts. I'll share a very quick story. So I had, I'm not going to mention his name. A few of you know him, but in sharing the story, some of you may be able to decode who it is. He worked with me briefly for a while. He lived with me at some point. I met him through JCI, by the way. And today he works with a bank somewhere outside the shores of Nigeria. How did we find this opportunity? On Google. So I just stumbled on it, and of course, he had to write essays, all sorts of things. But we kept pushing. He would do it. I'll review. We'll look at it together. He will submit. The Bank of America actually would review and then send back, shortlist another group of people. He made the next, like that. So anyway, today as I speak, he works at the Bank of America. And then when the next year, the announcement came out again, I copied the link and I shared it with a few young persons, undergraduates, because the whole process started from while he was an undergraduate. And I shared it with a few persons and I said, well, I think this is a good, before he graduated from school, he was almost as good as guaranteed as getting the Bank of America job. Today he's there with his wife and his daughter, So I shared it with them, and after a few weeks, I just tried to touch base just to find out, have you submitted? How did it go? I touched base with two people particularly because they didn't come back to me. The other people even wrote their essays, shared with me to help them review, that kind of thing. So these two people, I didn't hear from them. And so I thought one of them, I don't even think that one replied me. The one that replied said to me, oh, he thought it was a broadcast. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, have you ever seen me send broadcasts? First of all, I don't do it. That's number one. Number two, you know me well enough. If I do send a broadcast, can you at least read it? Maybe you will find it useful. Apparently, he didn't even read it. Of course, by the time he clicked on the link, because they require a lot of, you have to write some essays, it's quite intense. There was no way it would meet up before the closing date. My point is, the phones, we all have phones, and I still maintain that it's a very strong tool. There's absolutely nothing you're unable to do with your phone. The question is, what are you doing with the one you have? It's okay to go on Instagram. I say it all the time. Some people even go there and insult their mother's mates, insult their father's mates, all those things. I've sat at I'm not joking. If you do come to my company for interview, whilst I'm interviewing you, I ask you for your social media handle and I'll check. And that's checking your handle, checking your page can determine whether I employ you or not. It's that simple. Because looking at your page alone for 2-3 minutes tells me the kind of person you are. And we've seen people lose opportunities because of the kind of things they post. We've seen people lose jobs because of that kind of things. And I say it all the time. Can you even separate your misbehavior? Like, keep it in your room. It's not all, you don't have to really show to the world that you are badly behaved if you are. So I feel that we can do a lot more. We can be more responsible. I say to people all the time, it's like when you send out an email coming from your email address depicts you. It carries your signature. Can you please proofread before you click the send button? It's the same thing when you're putting out a post. Can you be sure that what you're putting out is decent and of value to the people that will read before you put it out? It's not enough. We know it's your page. We know it's your data, like some would say. After I'm the one paying for my data. But can we be more responsible? Because in the day and age that we're in, what you put out there can make or mar you. And I'm sure we all have different experiences, either of us or of people. Like I said, you will not attend an interview in my company without me asking you for your social media page and checking. There are people that have knocked off because of the kind of things I saw on their page. I'm not going to bring you here because one day you come and slap me. Some people are so cantankerous and you can see on their page, So we have to be very careful. We have to be very responsible, and we have to make judicious use, responsible use of the tools that we have at our disposal. The time will come for partying, for pleasure. Let me tell you one very funny story. I did an interview very recently. I was supposed to interview 2 people. I changed the date of the interview because of one person, not because of that person in particular, but because of the person that referred her. Twice, the first day we changed the date, the second time we changed the time of the interview, and she still finally did not make it. But because I had saved her number on my phone, and I don't normally look at this thing, but that day, I think God just wanted to catch her. And I went on WhatsApp story. This girl apparently went for a party the night before in Ibadan. And so she, all the things they put on the party, she put Ibadan. There's a way they write location. something I put at Ibadan. You know, she was just with all her people. I said, see the girl that is busy changing interview time for me. And me, I'm here, sitting down, waiting for her. I didn't sleep until 3, not partying, working, 3 a.m. And then I'm busy changing interview time because of her, not knowing she was partying. But you see, without even giving her another chance, I concluded and I knew the kind of person she was. I didn't have to say more than that. The second person, I just hired straight away. So my point is, till today, she doesn't know that I saw that video. Till now, she's not even aware. And I may never tell her because our paths may never cross again. But my point is that has told me the kind of person that she is and how seriously I can take her. Even if I meet her in future, am I likely to recommend her for anything serious? If we want to party, oh yes, I could drop her name. You know, but when people, at what point does your name drop in people's mind? When they want to discuss serious issues, business, responsible issues, or when they want to have parties? Food for thought. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that. And what I can draw from that is, proper, formal, and responsible representation of ourselves on our social media handles can actually take us more than where we expect. I believe we'll be getting, from another angle from this year Nigeria Senator Kalada Apiafi. So, sir, what are your thoughts on, using social media to position ourselves for, employment and opportunities and all that in line with, current behaviors in the society?
Okay, thanks. It's quite fundamental, not only for youth, for everyone, because that's where the market is now. I've actually attended a course on digital positioning because of COVID. COVID has made it more so. So, first of all, just like any other thing you're doing, you have to ask yourself, what is my objective for being on the social media? Okay, that's the fundamental question you have to ask yourself. Okay, so it goes, because that's why you're branding yourself now. It goes as far as, I've had to train people that are looking for jobs. I've had to tell them that, look, those email addresses you were using in university, like girlforchichi@yahoo.com, it's not going to work when you're looking for a job, because, when maybe they're searching for your name, and your name is Obiageli Okechukwu or something like that, and they're searching for your name, they won't find it with that chichigirl@yahoo.com. So it even goes to even your email address. If I see, when we see some email addresses in the job, we start to laugh instead of taking the person that's looking for the job seriously. So even up to your email address, it's very important. Use your name. That's what everybody does, but some people want to make it so sophisticated and whatever, and they use an email address that nobody can remember. Okay, so even up to your email address is very important. And actually, it's a thriving business now, digital positioning, digital marketing and all that, because that's what it's all about. So you have to have your objectives. The second thing is you have to have a program, just like, you have 8 hours a day for work. You have to have the time you allocate to social media. For instance, I try to wish people happy birthday every day on Facebook, but I go and do it and I come out. That's one of my visits to Facebook. I look at things a lot, but I don't think I spend up to 30 minutes to 45 minutes maximum a day on Facebook, except there's a webinar, and I decide to attend the webinar on Facebook rather than Zoom. Okay, so the amount of time you allocate to it, and then nobody says you shouldn't have fun on social media, but just like Adetola said, it's a major place for business now. It's a major place for connecting business. There are sometimes, I'm having a business challenge and I'm gisting with a friend, for instance, who is in Belgium. And I said that, this girl, every day I'm gisting with her, even though she's a medical doctor, that let me put my business problem to her. At least she may be able to find a Belgian that can solve that business problem. And lo and behold, the person takes it seriously and says, look, I'm not into investment or whatever, but I've directed it to my friends. And they now start asking questions. So, people have to realize, especially the young ones, that is one of the major places for marketing yourself. My daughter told me about her friend who got a job through LinkedIn. And there are several instances. Google is looking for staff. Facebook, there are all those kind of people. I think they call them the fangs. Apple, Netflix, Google, all of them are looking for people. But you have to position yourself. Okay, so you have to take a position. Am I a serious person? Do I want to present myself as an engineer? Do I want to present myself as a comedian? But that's not to say maybe if you are getting married, you don't put it on Facebook. If you want to, you put it on Facebook. But again, you don't want your whole life on social media. Some people have put their whole life on social media, even when they're eating amala. They show themselves eating amala. And I'm saying that, who wants to know that this man is eating amala? And even tells you the location where he's eating the amala. Come and meet me in London. I'm eating amala in London. Who wants to know whether he's eating amala or not? So it's the social media, digital position is an opportunity for you to position yourself, because everybody is doing it. The banks have come there. Before the banks went there, they felt social media was just, but now they even have officers who handle social media. So you have director of innovation or whatever. Social media is part of it. All these apps and things like that. So even a major area of business for even people that are just coming out fresh from school is to discover one app, because apps are used for everything. One day I saw one of my friends, he just retired and he's looking so young. Looks like somebody in his 30s. I say, you have retired. You better tell me what agbo you're using. And I now told him agbo is like herb, what herb is using. And I said, oh, is it on an app? Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities. But like I said, you have to actively seek for those opportunities. And when there are no opportunities, I've been an entrepreneur for many years, you create the opportunities. There are sometimes I tell my colleagues, let's go and visit this company itself. I just give one more example. When we were going to South Africa for a course, myself and my colleague, so the flight was in the night, and we decided to, Nigeria now, they can shut down the airport. So we decided to fly out of Port Harcourt the evening before. So we had a whole day ahead of us to do nothing. I told her that this company we have been trying to market, let's go and look for themselves. We went to the company, they received us so well, they told us to register. And about a year after, they gave us a job. So my final advice to young people is you have to use your time very well. I'm not saying you shouldn't play, you shouldn't have fun, but use your time very well. You have 8 hours to sleep. For the rest of the 16 hours, you should be able to account for it, whether it's on social media or whether it's on live. And then it's not only work, it's learning. And you people are very lucky. Everything you need to know is on the web. We used to have to go to libraries physically. We go to libraries.
Study all those kind of things. I get you, sir.
So, especially if you are JCs, you have a unique opportunity, and don't miss it. You have opportunity to accept mentors. Ordinarily, I won't come to Uniben now, right? But now because of virtual, I'm with you.
You have to come.
Not because I don't like collegiate, but it's management of my time. If I decide to go for every JC function, I won't do any other thing. And then how do I assist something? How do I assist something? Tell my wife that I'm going for an event at Uniben. She will think I'm going for something else, not for something serious like this. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that beautiful review. We just have the #1 JC in Nigeria, the national president, Onyechukwu Mbeledogu. Thank you very much for joining us, Ma. We are delighted to host you today. And you are coming as a special appearance for our EBL book launch. Good evening, Ma. How are you doing? I feel there's a network issue there. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I think network. I think we're there. You're muted already. Okay, you're muted.
She's on
I think
mute.
it's network
That's all.
issue.
Ah, but she's muted.
Yeah.
She's now muted. She was unmuted at the
I think it's network issue from our end actually. Mark, can you try to unmute yourself so we could? We have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. Yeah. It's unmuted now. Muted. Definitely, we'll try to give the national president, let's say, time to catch up with the network. So in the end, she will just give us the closing remarks, because that was actually what we scheduled. The closing remark, because actually wrote the forward for the ebook. She wrote the forward for the ebook. So we could please present the ebook now. Let's present the ebook now. Then yeah, let's present the ebook. So I think I'll be handing over to IPP Adetula Juyitan to kind of proceed while the national president catches up with the network glitches.
Okay. Thank you very much. I had a brief thought that I thought I would share. Again, let me commend JSI Nigeria University of Benin for this wonderful initiative. If I'm not mistaken, it must be the first. I'm not very sure, but I mean that I know of. So it's a timely initiative, and especially in this new normal where the future of work is being shaped by many forces, which include the growing adoption of artificial intelligence in the workspace. As people are no longer needed for the basic jobs, and the expansion of the workforce to include both on and off balance sheet talent. Employers are looking for employees with much more than certificates. We've talked at length about this in the last couple of minutes. So your education and your experience may make you eligible to apply for a job, but quite frankly, to be successful in most roles, you will need skills that you are likely to develop over time. Some will be specific to the job, but the vast majority will be the so-called soft skills, that were talked about and that can be used in any job or any employment sector, as the case may be. These soft skills are what we refer to as the employability skills, and that's what makes you employable. So I've read this book. I've tried to go through the thoughts of, the different contributors. And I think you guys have done a fantastic job. And I believe that this book will guide you through life experiences, as it contains real life experiences of different people from different perspectives, from different sectors, from different angles, and but still towing you, helping you, like putting you on the path to begin. And I'm excited that it's happening at the time that you've not even left school yet. So your first class or your 2-1 won't mean much if you're not equipped with the skills that are needed in the 21st century workplace. That's the truth. It may not sound very nice, but it's the honest truth. You don't have to wait till you finish school before you begin to figure out what you want to do with your life. Papa K touched on that earlier, and I also tried to talk about that. Now is the time to register for a couple of online courses, go for that skills development trainings, attend conferences, attend seminars. I mean, who would have thought that you could get a Harvard certificate online? Who would have thought that you could get certain, but the last few months, 8 months or thereabout, has taught us all that. So now is the time to build networks. These relationships will come in handy during the course of your personal and your professional journey. Reading through this book, I realized that all the information you need to succeed on your career development path are contained therein. If you read through the different people's experiences, you'll find this out. Please make the best use of the book as to guide you through how you can balance your academic accomplishments with the employability skills that are needed for career success, especially during this time and in this new normal. So on this note, and with the permission of the National President of JCI Nigeria, JCI Nigeria Ambassador Onyechukwu Mbeledogu, and the President of JCI Nigeria University of Benin, local organization JC Alabi Olusegun, I'd like to officially launch this book and make it, Inside Out, the reality after school, Inside Life, the reality after school. I would like to officially launch it to the public for use and for the betterment of the society. Thank you very much. Once again, well done, JCI Nigeria University of Benin. I would say this is highly commendable, and I do hope that this wouldn't end here. I pray that you guys, keep pushing and keep striving. Let me say something again very quickly. One of the things I look out for when I interview people, I ask deliberately, whilst you were in school, which organization did you belong to? It does not have to be JCI. But I know that for people that were either in JCI or one of such organizations, you have a lot more to bring to the table than people that didn't get involved in. And that's what I mean when I say, do not only pass through school, let school pass through you. So well done, JCI Nigeria University of Benin. For a fact, you guys will be the first beneficiary of, look at the kind of people that you put together. I'm so proud of you, and I'll say well done. I do officially launch this book and make it, open it up for, I believe you're going to share the link somewhere or somehow for the public to have access to it. And I'd like to thank Kay for always.
Thank you. Are you kidding me?
What just happened?
That's the control room from Benin City. We actually have a control room in Benin City, so that's where the platform here is being operated from. So why the rest of us join from other parts of the country? Yeah, so that's the control room, and the national president. Our local organization president and a couple of other team members are there, and they've been running this for the past 3 days. So I salute them. See, it's been interesting. So thank you very much, Ma, for opening it. We open in the name of the Father, Lord, and all those kind of stuff. Yeah, so we'll be rounding up now. We are definitely going to send out the links to our registered participants and all our facilitators, our speakers, invited guests. Everybody will definitely get this book because they'll definitely need to, give it out to people in their network. Sheyi Odebo, the director of EBL 3.0, will be coming up to give us, just some. The national president, after Sheyi, the national president would, close this session for us. So, and please, viewers, please do well to join us 6 p.m. with Bisia Conde on leadership. That's the final session, and you must not, choose to miss that deliberately. So, Sheyi Odebo, the director of EBL 3.0, we can have you now.
Thank you so much, Scott. Since we have the presence of the national president, Junior Chamber International, Nigeria, I would have the honor to let her speak first before me. Could you please go ahead, Ma?
I thought she wanted to, we agreed that she gave us a closing remark, actually, but it's all fine. It's all fine. Yeah, I wanted to end with the best. Yeah, it's all fine. Yeah, it's all fine. But,
okay. All right. So thank you very much. Scott, thanks for the opportunity. Greetings, everyone. JCI Senator Kalada Apiafi, 2019 JCI Nigeria President. President JCI Uniben, even though I can't see you. I was privileged to have the opportunity to write the forward for the ebook Inside Life, the Reality After School. I hope my voice is clear now.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. We
Loud
can.
and clear.
Okay, thank you. I just need to be sure. Okay, so okay, all right, thank you so much. All right, so in the course of writing the forward, I read through all, that was 92 pages of the book, and it was actually worth every read, because even as a worker, there was also something for me to take out. So that was why I think in my forward I said it's a book I would recommend, not just to undergraduates but also to parents and guardians, because I think it's, if some of us had this opportunity while we were in school, we would have made different choices. So for those who will be reading this book in their undergraduate years, you have an opportunity that a whole lot of persons did not get, because it now gives you a look into the experiences of persons who are currently either entrepreneurs or working with people, and the experiences of those who are also fresh graduates. So they get to tell you their experiences while in school and vis-a-vis what they are now experiencing. So it's actually an interesting read, and not just an interesting read, but one that is necessary, especially in the times that we find ourselves in, so that it's easier for us to be able to channel our attention to the right things. And you know that when you go through school, you don't just allow the school to pass through you, or rather, you don't just pass through the school, you should also allow the school to pass through you, meaning that you need to find a balance between the academic results you seek, and then also being able to not just um, graduate as the best student, but also have build a lifetime network, because most of the friends that you will have are friends that you made while in school. So it's best for you to also use the opportunity to build a network there. And then the life you face after school, a lot of times, is determined by the decisions you make in school. So I would recommend the book Inside Life, The Reality After School to everybody. And I also want to thank JCI Nigeria University of Benin for putting up this beautiful, wonderful document. And importantly, not just thanking JCI Uniben for doing this. If the 50 persons who share their experiences did not answer the call to do so, this book would have been possible. So I also thank the persons who took the time to share their various experiences in that book. So thank you very much, and thank you for giving me a book that I will definitely be recommending to a lot of my younger friends, and also my older friends, to be able to share with their kids. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, NP Ma. We are really delighted that you took our time out of. There's still the 63rd anniversary going on that happened today, and it has really been quite engaging for you. And we are delighted that you took our time to make this memorable and possible, and then assisting us in launching the Inside Life, the reality after school. So thank you for sharing your story with us, and thank you for taking our time. So I'm appreciating the IPP, Adetula Juyitan, JCI Senator Kalada Apiafi, then the National President, JCI Senator Onyechukwu Beledogu. I also forgot that the IPP is also a JCI Senator too. So we'll be having Sheyi Odebode for the closing of this evening's book launch session. We're having Sheyi Odebode for that. So Sheyi, can we have you up now?
Thank you very much, Scott Peter Sitepu. Thank you very much, Onyechukwu Beledogu, National President, JCI Nigeria. Thank you very much, JCI Senator Adetula Juyitan, 2019 National President. And thank you very much, sir, JCI International Senator Papa K. I'm so delighted to have everyone on board. And
So it's international.
Papa K is international. I'm so delighted to have every one of you do this with us. I am happy and filled with thanks to every of our contributors who have contributed to this immense work. I say a big thank you to you all. And like we have promised, you'll be getting a copy of this book, and this book will be going across to every undergraduate where we can find them. To the team behind this, I would like to specially acknowledge them. They've been amazing. At first, we didn't know it would take this long for us to put this up, but then we were using it. Was going through 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. Finally, today we are able to launch this. We are so excited. What you have mentioned is Elijah Ebulue, who worked as the head of communications and the designer for this book. Elijah, you are super. Thank you. Every other person who worked towards the success of this book, Sophia Okuna, Kester Dennis, Purity Heseke, and every other person too numerous to mention, whose name have been mentioned in the book. I say thank you all. Thank you all so much. You can meet our indomitable team over there on the screen. I appreciate everyone, and I hope that everyone find this as a worthy career guide. Do enjoy reading our books. And don't forget, we have our feedback form. Share your experiences with us and the lessons you take from this. Thank you so much, JCI, University of Benin. Thank you so much, the local organization president, Shegun, whose father's name is Samsi Alabi. He gave us a platform by which we can be take initiatives, and we can always provide solutions. Thank you so much, the Vice President Project, Kajetan Yenagbe, who is my boss. I really appreciate you all so much. Much love from here. Thank you, and happy ebook launch to us all.
All right, thank you very much. But the thank yous were just too much that it was looking like it's a Thanksgiving service, but we still have another Thanksgiving service. At the end of today, that's after the last session. So we can, go to church and also dance about that tomorrow, go to our various places of worship and, dance about that tomorrow. So thank you so much, IPP. Thank you so much, International JCI Senator. That international is the emphasis there. Thank you very much, National President. I really appreciate every single one of you. And to our beautiful people behind the team that made sure that the book was successful. Thank you so much. So please, viewers, please do well to join us by 6 p.m. with BC Akonde. See, don't just miss that one. No, if we miss that one, no certificate for you. We miss that one, no certificate for you. So please, let me just ask
thank you before the Pato ranking. Have a good evening. Ranking we already. All right, Papa. They are already going Pato ranking.
I just tired.
No, they are testing us. They said we should go.
They are testing us already. I hear Pato ranking. Bye for now.
All right, bye everyone.
Thank you so much. All right. All right. So thank you guys for joining us on our first ever EBL ebook, and we are definitely committed to giving you more and better in the coming year. All right. So please do well to sign out. You can type signing out to get your certificate. Yes, you must meet up to a required level of attendance before you can get your certificate from this program. And we will be meeting, just like I've been emphasizing, we'll be meeting this year by 6 p.m. So please do well to make it a time on an hour. In the next, I think, 16 minutes, we'll be having BC Akonde. And I remain Scott Peter Zetepu, your host for this session and the past one. And I'll see you guys later. All right, please do well to have a wonderful weekend. Bye.